In Singapore, the little state city in Southeast Asia, each year the Formula One Grand Prix extravaganza roars into life. It is also here that we find Cheryl Tay, a young blogger and unconditional fan of Sebastian Vettel, Formula One world champion. 25 years old, Cheryl is wildly passionate about motorsports and dedicates her time to her greatest love.
Sebastian Vettel, the defending champion, last year's world champion, he's returning to Singapore. And I don't know, I hope to have the chance to interview him again. Last year I got to interview him. I think he is very busy, but I am just so full of admiration and respect for him. For someone so young to achieve so much, you know. Wow, it's just amazing. He's very young and I'm like, wow, you know, we're almost the same age. And look at him and look at me, you know. I admire his courage, his guts. He dares. Sometimes he does things that people don't really understand, but just because he's young, and it doesn't mean that, you know, he's not capable of achieving big things. And I think for him to be where he is today, I really have a lot of respect for him. I have wondered before how it would be to be a girlfriend of a big Formula One driver, but I don't think that would ever happen. There's a big dream, even bigger than buying an Ari. And I got to meet him, so I was actually very scared, you know, to talk to him, because I'm afraid that sometimes they might be arrogant, or they may be proud. I was standing next to him and I was like, wow, okay, but it turns out that he was actually very, very friendly. When he saw me the next day, hi, I was like, oh, hi, okay. He said hi to me. I think it's not just me, but all fans, they like to see, you know, when it's not so... Because Formula One is very unpredictable, anything can happen. Suddenly, you know, your engine spoils or something, you know, someone is like... Their pit stop strategies, you know, their time or, you know, their tires, they have tire problems and all that. So I like to see when they, you know, when they try to overtake, they go in the corners so tight and then they do not let it go on the straight. You know, the more action it is, the more excited it is. So yeah, it keeps my heart pumping.
Cheryl is a big collector and is sometimes on the lookout to buy the latest Formula One merchandise.
Yeah, I like that. There's a mouse pad, a water bottle. You know, I like to use these things. It makes me happy when I use things of a car brand.
I use things that are of a car brand.
This is with the Singapore flag. Is it especially for the Grand Prix? Not especially for the Grand Prix, but actually this one is the only cap we have with it. Yeah, I noticed. With the Singapore logo on it. Cool.
Look at it, the shoes.
It's so cute, look at that. The shoes so small, the logo, and they have the shorts. Oh my goodness, it's so cute, so cute.
Yes, I will.
I will. I can imagine whether it's a son or a daughter, you know, I will get the bag.
I will get the bag.
I'll get the water bottle. This is so cute, look at this.
Vroom. Oh my god.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Ferrari
is famous, you know. It's a champion. It's a champion winning team in F1.
Winning team in F1.
Everybody knows who Ferrari is.
So other than the road cars, they also have...
So other than the road cars, they also have like car models of the F1 cars, and they go specifically according to each Grand Prix. Like this is the Bahrain Grand Prix edition.
Not only is she a fan of Formula One, but also of different kind of motorsports, such as drifting. Cheryl spends most of her time at the racing tracks.
I always like cars, but in my family, nobody likes cars. Nobody, not even my uncles or my aunties, nobody likes cars. I'm the only one.
I'm the only one, but yet,
so when I was young, because nobody in the family likes cars, so I was
never really exposed.
I was never really exposed to cars and everything, but you know, last time in McDonald's, they used to have the Happy Meal toys. They had either Hot Wheels, the cars, or Barbie dolls. So you could choose which one you want, and I picked the cars.
I actually have
a website. It's called Vavavroom. It's a website where I share my adventures, my stories with my readers.
My stories with my readers. Like let's say
I interviewed an F1 driver, or I go for a drifting event. And then I'll take photos, and then after that I will write a story and I'll put it on my website.
Yeah, so it's a place.
So it's a place for me to remember, my adventures, remember my stories.
Remember my stories. These are some of
the F1 drivers that I've interviewed before. So I was really lucky I got to interview Christian Horner, the team principal of Red Bull Racing,
the team principal of Red Bull Racing,
and the Sebastian Vettel, Mark Webber, and Adrian Newey himself.
And Adrian Newey himself, the guy who
designed and built the champion cars.
The winning.
The winning F1 cars. And then I also went to Italy for WSK race.
And I got to meet
Mika Häkkinen, 2-time world champion, Jenson Button, Lewis Hamilton, and even Felipe Massa.
And even Felipe Massa.
So these are some of not all, but some of the drivers that I've interviewed in F1.
Drivers that I have interviewed in F1.
D1 GP champion, and this was his first time competing in Formula Drift.
And this was his first time competing in Formula Drift.
He's so far. Nice.
Nice.
It is in her room that we find Cheryl's most precious treasures.
This is a souvenir from Fernando Alonso, 2-time Formula 1 world champion in 2008. I went to an event and he signed this for me. Yeah, very, very precious.
Very precious also.
Today, Cheryl has an appointment in the center of the city with her best friend, Sue Ann. Both of them are fans of cars, and they spend hours exchanging comments on the F1 championship. In a very male universe, to be with a girl is sometimes relieving.
It's not common that you find girls liking cars and things. I'm mainly surrounded by guys, so actually we sat down beside each other coincidentally and I started talking to her. I had no idea who she was, so we just started chatting and talking about cars. We have similar interests. Hey, you want, like next time you go karting, you want to give me a call? So we hook up and we got lots of similar interests. That helps. We're not the very girly kinds of girls, so I think that helps. We're not very petty. I mean, whatever happens, even if there's special colors, we just get over and done with the situation. I think that is why we get along so well.
Racing's biggest fan, Cheryl also likes to go and practice on the tracks and would have loved to become a professional Formula 1 driver. Today she is going to the karting circuit in Singapore for a little training.
Go-karting is the most basic form of motorsport because it's something that you can start maybe at the age of 5, the age of 6 years old.
You can actually start karting early. It's the easiest form of driving, you see.
You don't
need a license, so most of the Formula 1 drivers actually start karting when they were very, very young.
And they
slowly start to go to other types of racing like open-wheelers, single-seater, touring cars. But Formula 1 drivers, even when they're not racing, sometimes on their off days, they go karting to make sure they keep fit because, karting is actually the foundation of driving, of racing in motorsports.
Shoes, protective driving gloves fully loaded, Cheryl has the panoply of the champion. She never misses her weekly dose of speed at the karting track.
I want to meet Michael Schumacher.
He's
back in racing in Formula 1. He's the oldest man on the circuit.
He has 7 world champions.
He has 7 world champion titles to his belt, but I hope to get to meet this guy.
And he did very well.
And he did very well in some races, like starting last and finishing in the front. So this is one guy that I really hope. He's a legend.
This is one guy that I really hope. He's a legend.
In the beginning, Cheryl's family did not understand her passion. However, now she has managed to communicate her obsession with speed to them.
When she went to the U,
when she first went to university, she joined the motor club there. And from that moment on, she started mixing with boys.
They started a club, then
They organized trips, some got fast cars.
From there, the interest developed. I noticed from there.
And I noticed her interest really grew from there.
You know, so she will go
Something that started out as a form of amusement.
She will go drive that time. All along, she likes.
Driving cars became a passion. We just support her.
Champion sound, #1 DJ selection, soundboy cannot, you're not test the original champion.
One of Cheryl's favorite places to hang out is the garage. For her, it's important to keep completely updated with the latest releases of cars, accessories and tuning. It is here that she comes to learn about the latest brake pads, fuel filter, suspension rigs and shock absorbers. A very masculine universe that she has loved for a long time.
Bullet out fuego, you don't know me. I burn you down, little homie. Use a trophy cat, go ahead, show me. Then need to get to rockin' and expose you phonies. Bill you, then I scatter your cronies. Eat them up like rice-a-roni.
A world that Cheryl has loved for a long time, as much as the cars besides which she poses for a photograph.
Most of my female friends, they do not even know where the engine is, you know? They do not even know what power steering fluid and brakes fluid is. And she's one of the people that actually knows what the different car parts are, the different brakes and the engine system. Basically, which is quite update for a Singapore girl where they are mostly very feminine.
Today, Cheryl is going to present an article to a dedicated motor racing magazine. Blogger and journalist, she is aiming to seduce a new breed of feminine readership.
Generally, this is a guy's game, whether it's motorsports or just cars. In general, it's always about males, males, and males. And I think it's time to change the perspective around. We have a lot more female drivers on the road today, a lot more single female drivers on the road. So we have a lot more people that are empowered actually to make their own decisions about their automotive purchases, about their automotive and their driving habits. And so someone like Cheryl can give them perspective, not only from the male angle, but from the female angle as well.
Hey yo, got that connection. Original Jimmy Killer. Double check it. Yeah, she got son, represent.
Tonight, Cheryl finishes her day by meeting her readers with whom she shares her fast-paced adventures via her blog. A list of fans that is growing at a rapid pace.
She's one of the small group of ladies who actually show a very strong interest in motorsports, actually doing something to promulgate their interests. I think girls who are interested in cars and motorsport are very sexy.